She was declared dead, but now she's back. How is this possible? And why does she look so different? This is a story of mystery, revenge, and secrets, and you won't believe what happens next. Introducing protagonist, Amelia, a young woman presumed dead after a tragic accident. She wakes up in a hospital bed with no memory of the past year. The first glimpse of her world, a world where she doesn't exist, where people have moved on without her. They buried her, held a funeral, cried over a coffin that held nothing but assumptions. But now, she's standing in the lobby of the company her father built, the same place where people use her death to hide what they did. The fluorescent lights buzzed above her head. Machines beeped softly. Her fingers twitched. And just like that, Amelia Carter opened her eyes. The nurse gasped. The room scrambled. Doctors rushed in. Subject 2419 is responsive. Amelia didn't know where she was. Didn't know her name. Didn't know what year it was. But one thing felt certain. She wasn't supposed to be alive. They told her the truth in pieces. A car accident. A ravine. No body recovered. Declared legally dead 11 months ago. No visitors. No family contact. The doctors assumed she was just another Jane Doe. But Amelia wasn't just anyone. 1 week later, she was discharged. Armed with a donated phone, a faded hoodie, and a name she remembered only when she saw it on the news. Carter Enterprises. CEO James Carter. Her father. She walked past a glass tower in downtown Chicago, pulse racing. The receptionist barely looked up. "I'm here to see Mr. Carter," she said. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, I'm his daughter." The receptionist blinked, then typed something into the system. "Miss, James Carter's daughter passed away almost a year ago." That's when security stepped in. She wasn't just a stranger now. She was a disturbance. She watched from across the street as people filed in and out of the building. They were smiling, moving on, like she never existed. But something was wrong. Her father hadn't searched for her. No one had. Not after the accident. Not when she disappeared. It wasn't grief. It was silence. That night, she found an old friend, Lex, her college roommate. Lex screamed when she opened the door. "You're supposed to be dead." Amelia hugged her tight. "Apparently I was..." Lex filled in the blanks. The police closed the case after 2 weeks. The Carter board took emergency control of the company. Her father stopped talking to the press. And her stepmother, Vanessa, was now executive director. Vanessa, the same woman who once told her, "You're not ready to lead. Stay in school. Stay quiet." That night, Amelia dug up archive footage of her own memorial. A news anchor's voice. A tragic loss for the Carter family. No remains were found, but after weeks of searching, the family is ready to grieve and move on. A photo flashed on screen, but not the one she remembered. Her picture had been edited, her curls smoothed, her skin lightened, almost like they wanted her forgotten or replaced. The next morning, she walked into Carter Enterprises again. This time, she didn't ask permission. She rode the elevator to the top floor, walked past stunned assistants, and into the boardroom. James Carter sat at the head of the table, gray at the temples, still sharp-eyed. But when he saw her, his face didn't soften, didn't move, just stared, like he'd seen a ghost. "Amelia?" She nodded. "I'm back." Silence. Tension thickened. Then Vanessa stood. "Security." James raised a hand. "No." He stood slowly, walked toward her, then whispered, "How much do you remember?" That night, Amelia opened her old tablet. Lex helped recover files she'd saved at cloud. What she found wasn't just photos or texts. It was a video, dated the night of the accident. In the footage, Amelia arguing with Vanessa. "You can't do this," Amelia said. "You know what this will do to the company, what it'll do to him." Vanessa's voice was cold. "He's weak, and you're in the way." Then, screeching tires, screaming metal, darkness. Amelia dropped the tablet. Lex caught her as she sank into the couch. "Amelia, they tried to erase you." She nodded, trembling. They didn't just declare me dead. They made sure I disappeared. But now, she remembered everything. And when she stepped into her reflection that night, she didn't see a ghost. She saw someone they never expected to come back. Sometimes, the world will try to bury you, not with dirt, but with silence. They'll call an accident, call it a tragedy, but behind every buried truth is someone who wants it to stay hidden. And when the ghost returns, they're not coming back for closure. They're coming back for justice. She walked into the room. They swore she'd never enter again. And when her name echoed across the boardroom, everyone flinched because the daughter they declared dead wasn't just alive. She remembered what they did. It started with a legal notification, a courier envelope, no return address. Inside, a will, James Carter's will, dated 6 months after her death. Amelia stood at Lex's kitchen table, reading every line, and one section made her stomach twist. In the event of my daughter Amelia Carter's confirmed passing, control of the Carter Trust shall transfer to my wife, Vanessa Carter, with full power of succession. Lex read over her shoulder. They declared you dead so she could inherit everything. Amelia whispered, he didn't even wait a year. But it didn't stop there. 2 signatures confirmed the declaration of death. James Carter, and a private physician tied to Vanessa's family. The pieces were falling into place. Her disappearance wasn't just tragedy. It was strategy. Amelia didn't hide anymore. She walked into Carter Enterprises that Monday morning, head high, her curls pinned back, black suit tailored sharp, eyes forward. She didn't wait at reception. She took the elevator up to the boardroom. The meeting had already started. Vanessa stood at the head of the table, presenting quarterly numbers. But when Amelia stepped inside, the room went dead silent. A few gasped. One man whispered, "Is that?" James stood up. "Amelia?" She didn't break eye contact. "I'm here to reclaim what's mine." Vanessa recovered first. "This is inappropriate. She is not on this board. I was, and I still am," Amelia said. "My stake never disappeared. You just hope no one will question it." She slid a manila folder across the table. Inside, DNA match confirmation, hospital release documents, and a copy of James Carter's trust, signed before her disappearance. James sat down slowly. "She's right," he said. "She's my daughter." Vanessa's eyes narrowed. "This doesn't change anything." But everyone in the room knew it changed everything. Later that evening, Vanessa found Amelia alone in the glass lobby. "You're making a mistake," Vanessa hissed. "No," Amelia replied. "I made the mistake of trusting you. You were gone." Vanessa snapped. "We moved on. We mourned you. Did you?" Amelia asked. "Or did you use it as a chance to take over?" Vanessa stepped closer. "You're in over your head. You don't know how this company runs." Amelia's voice was ice. "I don't need to know how you ran it. I'm here to rebuild it." Vanessa didn't flinch, but something behind her eyes flickered. Fear, anger, a plan forming. That night, Amelia walked the halls of her old life. Everything looked shinier, but emptier. She passed the wall where her portrait used to hang. Now, gone, replaced with a modern abstract canvas. Lex met her in the parking garage with a frown. "Someone tried to access your hospital files." "What?" "Encrypted records. Someone's trying to find out where you were, and maybe erase what's left." Amelia's eyes narrowed. "They couldn't keep me gone the first time. They won't get another chance." At 11:13 p.m., someone knocked on Lex's apartment door. Amelia opened it cautiously. A man stood there, early 30s, expensive coat, unfamiliar face, but he looked nervous. He handed her an envelope. "Read it somewhere private. I was told you'd understand." "Who told you?" The man hesitated, then said, "Your mother." Amelia froze. "My mother died when I was 11. The man looked down. "I'm just a messenger, but she's alive, and she's been looking for you." He left before she could ask another word. She opened the envelope. Inside, a faded photo of her and her mother, dated 5 years ago. A key, and a note in handwriting she hadn't seen in over a decade. They lied to both of us. If you want answers, come home. The people who claim to protect you might be the ones who profit from your disappearance. But truth has a strange way of surviving. Even when erased, even when buried, it waits, and when it returns, it burns down every lie it touches. She came back from the dead, reclaimed her name, confronted her enemies, but the story isn't over, because now she's learning. She wasn't the only one they tried to erase. Amelia Carter came back from the dead. Now she was about to learn. She wasn't the only one they tried to bury. The key was old, brass, etched with the initials EC. Lex traced it to an old storage unit rental on the outskirts of Chicago, leased under a name Amelia hadn't heard since childhood. Elaine Carter, her mother, the woman she'd been told died when she was 11. But that photo, that letter, that key, they told a different story. The storage unit was cold, dimly lit. Inside, a single desk, a locked cabinet, and boxes marked confidential 2009. She opened the first one. Inside, medical reports, news clippings, handwritten letters addressed to Amelia, never sent, and one chilling file labeled Independent Custody Request. Elaine Carter versus James Carter. Lex read it aloud. Elaine filed for full custody 2 months before her accidental overdose. Amelia's voice was hollow. She didn't overdose. She was disappeared, just like me. Tucked inside the cabinet was a flash drive, video footage. Amelia played it on Lex's laptop. Elaine Carter, alive, speaking directly to the camera. If you're seeing this, it means they failed to keep you away from the truth. I tried to protect you. I tried to leave. But James, Vanessa, they don't want you to know who you really are. They erased me. Now they'll try to erase you too. The screen flickered. Static, then black. Amelia sat in silence. Her mother didn't die. She was silenced. And now Amelia knew why. The Carter name was built on more than innovation. It was built on control. Every threat removed. Every voice silenced. Every legacy rewritten. Amelia didn't wait. She called for a shareholder emergency vote, called a press conference, called out her stepmother by name. She stood in the same boardroom where they once buried her name, now holding the receipts that would bury the lies. Vanessa tried to interrupt. None of this is legal. It's documented. Amelia cut her off. She pulled up emails, signed affidavits, medical files. Her voice never cracked. Because this time, she wasn't just fighting to be believed. She was fighting to be heard. James Carter sat in silence. Finally, he stood, faced his daughter. I thought she was unstable, he said quietly. She said she was leaving, taking you with her. And so you took everything from her? Amelia snapped. You let Vanessa rewrite our history. You let them mourn me while you signed checks. He looked away, not in guilt, but in defeat, because the truth had a way of exposing power and stripping it bare. The board voted unanimously. Vanessa Carter was removed. James Carter was retired early. And Amelia, she was offered the position she was born into, chair of the Carter Foundation. But she hesitated. I don't want this just because they're gone, she said. I want to leave because I survived them. She accepted, not out of revenge, but to rebuild what they destroyed. A week later, Amelia followed a final address left by her mother, a quiet apartment in Milwaukee. She knocked 3 times. The door creaked open, and there, hair grayer, eyes tired, but unmistakably her, Elaine Carter, alive. They stared at each other. Neither spoke for a long time. Then Amelia whispered, "You waited all this time." Elaine stepped forward. "No, baby, I fought all this time." And they embraced, for the first time in 13 years. No more lies, no more silence, just truth. Sometimes, your whole life is built on a version of a story someone else wanted you to believe. But the truth, it doesn't die. It waits, and when it rises, it breaks every chain they use to hold you down. Even the ones that came with your last name. She was buried, forgotten, erased. But now, she's rewriting everything they tried to hide. If this story hit you in the heart, drop a heart in the comments. And what do you think about this story? Because too many people have been silenced in the name of power. But if Amelia taught us anything, it's this. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You just need the courage to speak, to demand change, to refuse to stay silent. If this story made you think, share it. If it made you angry, talk about it. And if it made you realize how much work is left to do, stay engaged. Because real change starts with real conversations. Subscribe to Truth in Black and White, where stories don't just expose the truth, they restore it. Thank you for watching.